This week on the show, we have Dorka, who stars in season 7 of the popular Netflix reality series, Love is Blind. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for watching. This show is all about giving you insights and showcasing brands that help you to live your best life and give you confidence. As always, I want to kickstart your morning with some motivation advice to help you to feel inspired and energized to start your day. Today, I want to talk about the importance of understanding this concept. You will see it when you believe it. The reality is many people believe that only when they see something that they will then begin to believe it. But the key to manifesting is actually the opposite. It's believing in it in order to see it. It's having a belief so strong and so compelling that it has no choice but to manifest in your outer reality. Let's put this concept into practice with anyone that you see successful today, whether it be someone in business or a celebrity that you admire. Their success began with a relentless belief in themselves and their dreams. Due to that belief, they eventually convinced the world of their talent and eventually aligned with the right opportunities through inspired action. The great author and motivational speaker Wayne Dyer made this concept of "you will see it when you believe it" popular by teaching people that it's through our beliefs that we can shape our reality to create opportunities and experiences that align with the life we want. Make it your mission today to start cultivating this belief and watch your outer world begin to change. As Dr. Wayne Dyer quotes, "If you believe it will work out, you'll see opportunities. If you believe it won't, you will see obstacles."
Stay tuned. Coming up after the break.
And your experience was a little bit different on the show. I feel like you did face some challenges right when you started in your relationship. So what was something that you learned about yourself in this experience?
Yeah, the biggest thing was I'd never been open. I'd never been vulnerable. I'd never talked about certain things that had happened in my life or things that I've been through or the people around me have been through. And so I learned not only to be open with your partner and the people you love, but with yourself, right? Like I had a lot of self-reflecting to do, and I knew I was a good dude. I knew I had a lot to give. I'm ambitious, I'm respectful, mature, but it's like you don't really, that last 10% was really unlocked for me, actually being in that experiment, because you have to do a lot of self-reflection. And it's like, okay, me personally, I would never throw shade at a woman, right? I'm gonna treat her the right way.
Wardrobe provided by Le Chateau. Next up on the show, we have Dorka, who stars in season 7 of the popular Netflix reality series, Love is Blind. Thank you so much for being on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. A lot going on, but I'm glad to be here with you.
Well, thank you for being with me today. Honestly, I love Love is Blind, so we have a lot to talk about. But before we get into your experience on the show, I want to ask you, what intrigued you about going on the show in the first place?
It's such a different opportunity in life. I'm kind of a risk taker. I would hate to not do this and then look back in 10 years and be like, what if, right?
Yeah.
The trajectory of my life probably would have looked a little bit different. And for me, it was such a different opportunity where it would not only test me, but, test my lifestyle, test my partner, test how I can, maneuver kind of being in that, married lifestyle. And it just retro engineers the whole dating thing, right? Everybody's all about looks, first impressions. And now it's like, screw the looks, right? We're just going to see who we vibe and connect with. And then the second part of the experiment is obviously that physical space. So it was too cool of an opportunity to pass up. And I'm so glad I did it.
Very nice. And what was your experience like in the pods? Was it like you imagined it to be?
What would you imagine it to be? I
don't know. I have no idea. It could be really exciting. It could be scary. It could be awkward. I'm not sure. But What was it like to be live in the pods?
Yeah, I mean, there's some tense moments for sure. Everybody's going through it together. So we kind of understand people's feelings. If you need space, take space. We were turning up a little bit. We were having a good time. There's cameras on you 24/7. You may put a ring on someone's finger. So it's exciting, but it was really cool just to be immersed in that situation. You don't have your phone, you don't have your computer, you leave your life behind, and it's like, okay, we're just here to find love, right? So great group of guys, great group of women. but I had to constantly remind myself this isn't a frat party.
Yeah.
We're here to find love, right? So the lounge and the pods were really cool, and I'd seen some previous seasons and kind of knew how it went, but being in it's actually different for sure.
And your experience was a little bit different on the show. I feel like you did face some challenges right when you started in your relationship. So what was something that you learned about yourself in this experience?
You think I only faced a couple challenges?
I'm being very diplomatic here.
Yeah. You were asking kind of just how the experience was.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that you had some challenges. What's something you learned about yourself in that experience?
Yeah, the biggest thing was I'd never been open. I'd never been vulnerable. I'd never talked about certain things that had happened in my life or things that I've been through or the people around me have been through. And so I learned not only to be open with your partner and the people you love, but with yourself, right? Like I had a lot of self-reflecting to do, and I knew I was a good dude. I knew I had a lot to give. I'm ambitious, I'm respectful, mature, but it's like you don't really, that last 10% was really unlocked for me, actually being in that experiment, because you have to do a lot of self-reflection. And it's like, okay, me personally, I would never throw shade at a woman, right? I'm going to treat her the right way. And so a lot of the times, when we are going through just talks or arguments or disagreements, I had to sit back, just like put myself in her spot and just kind of understand where she's coming from. And so one thing I didn't know either is I'm patient as hell.
Yeah.
I'm patient as hell, and I never realized that I was that patient, or that's a quality that I have to give or was looking for in my partner. So just a lot you kind of learn about yourself in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, being patient is a great quality, I have to say, in any partner, right? So
Are
that's
you
amazing.
pretty patient
For
the most part?
I can be. It depends. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
I can be. I think I'm pretty patient, but I'm definitely an A-type personality as well. So
I can tell. Yeah, we can work on your patience.
When you went into the pods, did you kind of have an idea of what you were looking for in a partner, or was it something that you kind of experienced, or did something that you kind of decided on while you were in the experience?
Yeah, it's 50-50. I knew I wanted someone who was, morally the right way, kind of wanted to raise our kids the right way, had a couple qualities, trust, a lot of fun, ambitious, has their own thing going on, down to do whatever, try new things. But Hannah wasn't like my normal type, and I'm not even talking physically. It's just, she's from West Virginia, she has an accent, and grew up a lot different than I did. And so I had never thought about a lot of those little details and stuff like that. And I went into the pods thinking I had a type. I left the pods knowing I don't have a type, right? As long as you kind of hit the couple boxes that I'm looking for, it's fair game, right? And DC is such a cool place because it's diverse. So many people from different backgrounds. And I knew that kind of going in, and I was like, look, no matter what you've been through in your past, be present and just keep your mind open, right? And that's what happened, and I'm super glad I did.
Mm-hmm. What were some of the highlights for you being on the show? Because you also built a lot of friendships there as well.
Yeah. Built some friendships, but we were there to find love, right? So I would say a couple experiences were the duck. What the duck? I'm gonna ride that thing 10 times out of 10. Bungee jumping also in Mexico was cool because my biggest fear is heights. And then the night before we go bungee jumping, my producer's like, hey, get ready. 9 a.m. we're leaving to go bungee jumping, and I'm like, oh my God. But it was cool to overcome one of my biggest fears, or my biggest fear, on that stage with my person. That just goes into knowing a lot about yourself. And then it was really cool just having my friends and my family meet her. That doesn't happen a lot with me. It's tough for me to bring you into my space. And so just to share those moments with, my circle, my people, it was pretty neat.
Was it hard for you to open up? Because I know you mentioned you're kind of reserved and you were kind of, in the process. Was it hard for you to kind of really show everyone who you really were?
no, but then to talk about the things that I've never spoken about and to talk about experiences that I've never shared, that was difficult. It's really easy for me to just be myself, have conversation, meet people. I've never really had a problem with that, but a lot of the things, a couple things that I never shared with anyone, like it was tough, right? But I think that's the part of growing and the part of life is like you're never like a complete version of yourself. You're learning every day, and that experiment enables you to learn a lot in a little time, for sure.
I feel like you're dealing with two things there. You're on a show and you're learning about yourself, but you're also learning about your partner. So it's a lot, right? Is there anything that you would do differently?
I've been asked that question, and I've thought about it. The answer is no. There's a reason why I'm sitting here talking to you right now. Ms. Darriel. Darriel is how you say your name, right?
Darriel, yeah.
It's a pretty name, by the way.
Thank you.
No, there's a reason why I'm here, and there's a reason why things in the past, whether it was football or going to a different college, whatever it is, didn't work out. And so I think as long as you just have you keep your faith, you keep true to yourself, you're going to find yourself in life in a situation where, it feels right. And so it was just a blessing, to go through that and to be where I am now. I wouldn't have met a lot of the cool people, that I have met recently. So I'm along for the ride and I'm here for it.
And after being on Love is Blind, would you be open to going on another reality show?
I think so. Yeah. It depends on the show, for me, Perfect Match. It's like, I would entertain it, but I think Dancing with the Stars would be cool.
Nice.
I think going on sports broadcasting would be cool. I think, being the next Bachelor maybe. Cool,
okay.
Right? I'm putting my name in the hat. But it's like, shows that I would never have had the chance to go on would be so cool. I don't want to kind of just ride this wave and then have it wear out for, in a month or two. I want to kind of do and build something sustainable, right? That's going to set myself and my family down the lineup for success. So I'm open to whatever.
Very nice. And after being on the show, do you believe love is blind?
Yes and no. I think it's blind in the fact you never know when you're going to find love. When you go looking for it, no one ever finds it, but then it'll come up and pinch you in the butt. Yeah. And so I think it's blind in that sense, for sure.
And, I created my platform to inspire, to uplift, to motivate. And, there's a lot of entrepreneurs and young people that watch my show. So I want to ask you, for anyone that's afraid to kind of put themselves out there, because obviously you did on the show, and that's not easy. What would you say to encourage someone to kind of take a risk on love?
Yeah, I would say there's two things. It's being who you are got you to the point where you're at now. So never switch up, never never have someone kind of change how you grew up, the person you are, what you believe in. You got to stay true. You got to stay consistent. And then for me, I learn the most about myself when I make myself uncomfortable. Then it's tough for people to put themselves in tricky spots or, do things that bring them outside their comfort zone, just like kind of bungee jumping for me or talking about these things that I never talked about. But after you do it, it feels great. After you do it, it feels like there's a weight lifted off your shoulder. And I learn the most about myself when I'm uncomfortable or I'm nervous. I get the most out of that experience. So I would just say, take risks, get yourself uncomfortable.
Absolutely. I love that. I think that, when you're uncomfortable is when you really learn about yourself, right? When things are great, you're not learning, but when you're uncomfortable, I mean, even this year for myself, like I did so many things that were uncomfortable. And when I did it, I realized it wasn't bad at all. And you want more of that, right? You have that adrenaline rush because you're like, wow, that wasn't hard. I want to do more.
What's one thing over the past couple of years that you did that made you uncomfortable and you look back and you're like, wow, I'm glad I did this?
I would say traveling. I've done a lot of traveling this year. I went to Norway. I went to Cuba. I've been doing a lot of traveling, and I've been doing a lot of, as an entrepreneur, I've been focusing a lot on myself and going to events that make me feel uncomfortable and just putting myself out there. And it's amazing. I feel like every single time I do that, I just get so many opportunities and I just keep growing, and I learn about myself that, you're stronger than you think you are, right? So
Yeah, no, that's great. And you should know you're an amazing woman and human
thank
being.
you.
I am jealous you've been to Cuba though, because I'm Cuban. My
Oh,
mom
yes,
was
you're half
born in
Cuban, yeah.
Cuba. That's next on our list. We got to go down there, but I'm super jealous. So we'll have to chop it up another time about that.
And Nick, what else are you currently working on right now? What are your current projects?
Yeah, so I'm my own real estate team. I've been in the business 4 years. I'm having a lot of fun with that. But then I also have kind of, I don't know how much I could talk about them, but a couple different projects I'm working on. I'm huge into sports. I have an athletic background and, All-American kicker punter in college. Kickers are people too, if you can believe it or not. So it's like, it's super cool. I have this platform that I can now kind of, pursue these opportunities that the normal person wouldn't have, or I wouldn't have had, right? So whether it's modeling, fashion, traveling, sports, it's like I kind of have my hands in a couple different things, and my team and I are working on, making those things happen. So you'll see. You follow me on IG, right?
I do.
All right. I hope I follow you back. If not, I'll follow you back right after this.
Yeah, go follow me.
Yeah, so stay tuned. A lot coming up.
Amazing. Nick, thank you so much for being on the show today, and congratulations on all your success.
I appreciate it, and congrats to you as well. You have a successful show, and you're great, you and your team. So I appreciate you having me on.
The Darriel Roy Show is available on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts.